The thing about manifesting big goals in your life is you actually are not ready until you declare that you are ready to the universe, and it has to be a full bodied yes. Sometimes you have this manifestation where you're envisioning it and you feel it in your heart space and you're like, yes, this is mine. I just imagine the reality that it exists and it's real and it's almost so close that I can taste it. Yet you get stuck in the waiting zone for far too long. And the reason why is because there's a difference between when you think you're ready, when you say you're ready, and when you are full bodied ready. So if you are someone who's manifesting a huge goal for yourself, especially right now that we're in this pivotal moment, transitioning into this winter time where we're right at the end of the year and you're like, all right, I haven't completed this, or I didn't get this yet, or this is still something on my to-do list, and you're really wanting to just bang it out with a home run before the end of the year, what you actually have to do is stop saying that you're ready without actually embodying that readiness. And when you are there, when you finally committed to yourself, like, you know what, this is it. This is the thing that I am going for, and I will not stop until I actually achieve it. You then have to back that up. You have to back it up to the universe with something big and bold. Now, there's two different ways that you can go about a lot of your manifestations, and this really goes for any goal, whether it is weight loss, whether it is getting to a specific body type, whether it is an income goal, whether it is a relationship goal. You really have to do it in two different ways. And honestly, it's great when you are able to have a balance or a blend of both. So the very first thing that you can do is take very small steps every single day, consistently. And that repetition will then become almost like a habit or a behavior. It comes into an autopilot into your life instead of just something that you kind of pick up every now and again when you feel like it. This is something that you do even when you don't feel like it, but you get that return on investment. It just takes a little bit longer. Then you have those big, bold moves that are audacious, that are honestly a little bit rebellious, that are something that you don't really normally do, but you know it's going to be that one big thing that actually sets you apart from the rest, or sets that version that you used to be, that version of you that used to be, apart from the version that you are now becoming. And that big, bold move can really create a quantum effect where you're collapsing those timelines very, very quickly, and you see that return on investment faster. So the perfect blend here is to make sure that we have both of these working parts together. Because if you are consistently taking these small steps, but you're getting frustrated that you're not seeing that quantum leap or that quantum shift or that manifestation actually land, you will start to get a little demoralized. You'll start to get disheartened. You might start to get bitter or resentful of your progress, and sometimes it's hard to even see the progress in the first place because you are stuck in the, well, every single day I have to do something little, do something little, do something little, and you can't really see your progress, especially if you're not tracking it or documenting the process while you're doing it. So something to help you in that space to not get better, to not stop trying, to not give up, to not feel hopeless is to, one, obviously document that process, and two, understand that you have to take a couple steps back and look at the bigger picture of it, and then do a reflection. I want you to look at all of the past successes that you've had, all of those small wins that you have had, and remind yourself constantly, like, I am moving towards that goal. But when you're there and you're already getting a little hopeless, you're already getting a little frustrated, you're already about to give up, sometimes you feel like your back is against the wall, and then that's when you ultimately do the big thing. But you don't have to keep going on that roller coaster all the time of, okay, I feel like I'm taking these little tiny steps, and I feel like excited when I'm doing them, but at the same time, I don't really feel like I'm getting that return on investment. I'm feeling hopeless. I'm feeling low. I feel like self-sabotaging. I'm doing a whole bunch of things that I know I shouldn't be doing. And then you're like, okay, my back is up against the wall. I'm at rock bottom. I just feel hopeless. Maybe I feel a little bit depressed. Maybe I just feel like my momentum is completely gone. My confidence levels are plummeting. What can I do? And you come out with this big bang. But if you're doing it like that, if you're using that moment where you feel like you are in utter despair to make that big bang, it can potentially work in your favor. But since you're doing it with the energy and the momentum of feeling a little disheartened or feeling a little bit sad or feeling depressed, then that's the energy that's going to go into that big bang. So whether it works out for you or not, if it does work, it can be a little bit unmaintainable, where it's like, all right, that big bang happened and that's so great and I got my quick fix and it was an instant gratification sort of thing, but I'm having issues maintaining it because it also takes the littler steps. Or you do the big bold thing and in the middle of it, you just lose the wind in your sails because energetically it was not in congruence with that vision. It's like you had a little bit of that energy, but not enough of that energy that actually matches what that achievement looks like or what that manifestation looks like. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna do this whole entire thing. It's gonna be great. And you have that like adrenaline, you have that rush of doing all the things that you know you're supposed to do. And it's like the biggest risk you've ever taken. But again, it's like you were doing it on a low battery. So you only had so much of a burst of energy that could only take you so far. So instead of going through that process of having your high highs and your low lows, I want you to make sure that you're having these things in balance. That's what true readiness actually is. It is you taking those little tiny steps of doing things over and over and over again and having and building that repetition. So it's literally like a muscle that's being built within your behavior, within your embodiment, within your identity. And then planning strategically those big, bold, audacious moves, not from a place where you feel like you have to because there's nothing to lose, but from a place of, I'm already doing this in little ways. How can I take some of this energy that I've already cultivated and then plug and chug it into this big, bold move, actually plan the steps of that big, bold move so I'm not just throwing spaghetti at the wall. And then with this energy that I've cultivated, I can use that as the momentum to carry out this big move so I can see it all the way through. And when I see it all the way through, that's when it actually starts to work and it takes sail. And then you won't have to pump as hard anymore. You won't have to effort or try as hard anymore because it was strategic and it was energetic. And so if you are in that stage of your manifestation journey, even your healing journey, where you feel like you can't really see so much of that quantum shift or quantum leap, it might be time for that big, bold move. If you're someone who's only ever really looking for instant gratification and you need things to work for you very, very quickly, and you always just kind of do something big and then burn out, do something big and then give up, do something big and then it's like, oh, it was hard to maintain it after all. You really have to focus on balancing in those smaller integrated steps that you have to do daily. And so I want you to think of that one manifestation. You probably have already been thinking about it throughout this whole entire time that you've been listening, but I want you to think of that one big, bold manifestation, the one that has not been achieved yet by you, that you're looking to execute or just attract into your life before the end of this year. And I want you to ask yourself, do I have a perfect blend of both of these things? The little, tiny, sometimes little annoying, repetitive behaviors, and am I also taking big, bold action? When you have that perfect combination, you'll start to understand energetically that you're getting more into a flow state because you can see the big wins and then you can also see the little wins, and it keeps you inspired. And the more inspired you are and the more action you are taking on that inspired action with the proper energy that is in congruence with that action, then you're really going to start to see massive improvements in your life. And that's where we collapse the timelines. Because ultimately, when you are ready, it shows up in all ways. It shows up physically, it shows up emotionally, it shows up mentally, and it shows up spiritually. So I really want you to dig in here and say, where have I been showing up? Where have I not been showing up? Is there more balance that I can add into the situation? And in what ways do I need to add that balance? Small ways or big ways? And in what category? Do I need to really show up with my action taking? Do I really need to show up when it comes to my emotional regulation and healing? Do I really need to focus on balancing my mental beliefs and my mentality and the way that I see things, my perspective, my ideas with my actions? And then spiritually, are you staying connected? Are you staying grounded? Are you staying in tune and in flow with your divine masculine and feminine energies? And that's when you truly start to understand, oh, maybe in the past I was saying that I was ready, but I wasn't really ready. And now that I am, I have all these factors in place. I have all these factors in alignment. I'm actually going to take another shot at this, not get disheartened in the process, but keep that momentum, keep that energetic flow, and then have the universe respond back to me all of that beautiful energy. And then I will just have that manifestation come into my life because not only was I ready for it, but I allowed it to come as well.